What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party.
Peace and love, party people, and a place to be. It's Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO, the Little Lebowski Urban Achiever. This is the world's best podcast, People's Party. As always and as usual, I got my lovely and talented and thought-provoking co-host in the place to be, Jasmin Leigh. How you feeling, Jasmin?
You know what? To be honest, I'm feeling kind of high, yet I haven't hit anything.
Why are you feeling high? It's just the contact in the air?
It's just smelling in the air.
Okay. We're going to have a good time today because today's guest is, to me, one of the most inspirational stories in all of hip-hop. He is very prolific. He is a MC, a songwriter, a singer, an actor. He burst onto the scene back in the days. Me and him used to be signed to the same label back in the days. Since then, he went on to do great things, countless amazing albums, so many mixtapes. I can't even count how many albums and mixtapes. You got Show and Prove, Deal or No Deal, Kush and Orange Juice, Rolling Papers, Only Nigga in First Class, Black Hollywood, Rolling Papers 2. Latest joint is Multiverse. Is it Multiverse or Multiverse?
I say Multiverse, but I say everything wrong, so you might want to look it up.
People want to know. We're going to get into it. I really enjoyed this album that just dropped. It's very musical. It's very personal. It shows a lot of growth in a career that's already shown a lot of growth. From Black and Yellow to See You Again to Young, Wild and Free, to On My Level, to like so many records that have been the soundtrack to so many people's lives. In addition to his career in music, he has been doing film work for Mac and Devin Go to High School, The After Party. He was in American Dad, Eric Andre's show, Masked Singer, Big City Greens. He has a weed brand. He has a mushroom brand. He has an esports team. His company, his brand, his crew, his gang, Taylor Gang, is not just a record label, it's a Goliath. Nothing is off limits to this man. He lives his passion. Man, listen, give it up. The People's Party is proud to bring to you, from Taylor Gang, Wizzle, one of my favorite success stories of hip hop, Young Khalifa, Wiz Khalifa in the place to be. Yes. Yes. What up, man?
That was awesome. That's really good.
That's you, bro.
Hey, I appreciate it.
You earned that.
Good look, you know.
You deserve that.
Just be out here working.
Yeah, you be working extra hard, bro.
I love your jacket.
Oh, thank you. I just got it. It's K.R.I.T. It's this company that I work with.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah,
very
comfortable. It looks so nice and cozy.
Shout out to Matthew Baton. He's a world-famous French photographer. He used to work with Prince, and he currently works with Dave Chappelle and Lenny Kravitz. And this man wears exclusively K.R.I.T.
Oh, yeah. So, boom.
That's all he wears.
Boom.
It could be a fancy event, everybody tuxed out. He's showing up in the rainbow K.R.I.T. sweat outfit.
Live your life.
Yeah. It's like you're speaking through the clothes for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So it's good to see you.
Great to see you too, bro.
I remember I had to have met you back in 2008.
Yep.
That's correct?
You remember that?
I do.
That's crazy.
Warner Brothers?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. They introduced me to you. They was like, yo, this is this kid from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Y'all should work together.
Yep.
That was it. And then you left Warner Brothers.
Instantly afterwards. They didn't know what to do with my album or like just anything. It was a crazy time. You know how music was around then. But yeah, that's crazy that you remember that, man.
Yeah, man, I remember that, man. Like, cause I remember watching how you did it, like, and that's why I say I love to see the success story, because I saw it from when you first was dipping your foot into the industry part.
Yeah, thank you. I was young. I was like 19 back then.
Yeah.
I was a baby.
Yeah, man. I was way younger too. I don't know how old I was, but
I love how that we're the same age. You're a couple of weeks older than me, but you know, I'm
You a Virgo?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Libra, but I got some Virgo in me.
Right.
But I'm more so Libra, just a little bit. But my mom's birthday is the day before yours.
All right. So we 87 now.
And shout out to your mom, Peachy.
Yep. Shout out to OG Peach.
Yes. You were born in North Dakota, military brat, as they like to say.
Yeah.
And you've lived in Germany, London, and Japan before settling in Pittsburgh. And how do you feel being around all those different cultures shaped you as you were growing?
I think it just helped me to like really figure out who I was at an early age, because I grew up around so many different types of kids. There was like Asian kids, there was Hispanic kids, a lot of white kids, different black kids. But being in Pittsburgh, that was more my family, more people who are like me, you know what I mean? So wherever I went, I never really felt a true identity in those places, but I was able to learn from them and then also be myself, you know, any other time I went back home. So it was cool. It was a lot, but it was fun.
So you ended up in Pittsburgh, going to, I want to pronounce it right, Taylor Allardyce?
Alderdice.
High school. But Taylor Gang is really about the Chuck Taylors, right?
Yeah.
It's not really about the high school.
Yeah, it is. It's about the Chucks for sure.
Yeah, man. So when you, one thing I like about how you came onto the scene was like, you was like, yo, this is like, you know, I knew black kids who was like, wearing Chuck Taylors or even Vans sometimes, you know, different styles.
But they
wasn't
sneakers?
owning it.
Yeah.
They wasn't standing on it. You know what I'm saying? And you came out like with the songs, with the instructions, like this is how we operate.
Yeah.
We like these type of shorts. We like these type of sneakers. We smoke this type of weed. This how we roll it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
It was very, very, very deliberate. Shout out to DJ Bonics and Chevy Woods and your whole crew, man. Like, you've been with the same crew since the beginning.
Yep, for sure.
That was always the plan.
Yeah, definitely. I grew up just idolizing, you know, strong crews, and I just know how important it is to have those levels of, you know what I'm saying, support. And that gives the fans something to believe in, and it gives them something to attach themselves to other than just me. They can attach themselves to other members of the crew as well. And also, those are real people who have been like, you know, right there throughout my whole career. Bonics DJ for me, you know, when I was 16 years old, rocking in front of, you know, a room with less people than this.
Right.
And Chevy, me and him, we've been in the studio since I was in high school, and he's seen me, you know, grow not only as an artist, but as a man, as a father, as, you know what I'm saying, somebody who takes care of, you know, where we're from. So, it's been a real journey, and it's been a lot of fun. And like you said, standing on it and owning it. And the Taylor Gang and the Chuck Taylors just comes from being yourself and embracing who you are. So no matter what shoe you wear or what shorts you wear, you still have that same code, that same, you know, pride for yourself. And then that's why people were able to attach the Taylor Gang, because it was like, wow, we just see a lot of people who's comfortable with being themselves.
Pittsburgh is a storied city in American history. But Pittsburgh experiences sometimes this, what they call a brain drain, where people leave because not a lot of jobs, opportunities, more than other cities. People leave Pittsburgh and don't come back. And you have always been able to come back to the city and invest in the city and made that important.
Right.
I want to shout out K.R.I.T and Paradise and them from One Hood, because they do great work. But man, just tell us about that Pittsburgh sound and, you know, how important the city is to your legacy.
It's crazy that you be able to drop like K.R.I.T and Paradise's names.
Well, I know them well. I know them from, you know, activist work.
Yeah, it's so tight though, because like K.R.I.T was at my high school. Like he seen me, he tried to start an after school program, and I was one of the only. Yeah, I was one of the only kids who went. So he knows that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And Dice, like people brought me to his crib, was like, yo, this is one of the youngest, you know, hardest working, tightest dudes in the city. And he always sat me down and just like gave me game. So he knows too, like how, you know what I mean? Well, it's crazy that. But it's really, really important to always reach back and to, you know, just try to give people a way or a thought process to find that way. And that's what was given to me. I got a lot of OGs, and it's really important to be an OG, you know what I mean? And not just take the game and run with it, but to give it back so people have, you know, the keys to do the right thing with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to take the time to say rest in peace to Mac Miller.
Yeah, definitely rest
Easy
in peace
Mac,
to Mac Miller.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
He for people who don't know, like y'all went to the same high school, right?
Yeah, we went to the same high school.
And he came out touring with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he started out just working in the studio, basically the same way I did. I was coming up under the dudes that I looked up to, but I was so quiet and just kind of just moving around doing my own thing, and that's how Mac was too. He just came in, he had his crew, and they would record their music, but the whole time he knew what he was doing and what he was planning for, and that's how he was able to, you know, get to where he made it to.
Yeah, man, most dope. Like that dude contacted me. I don't even know how he got my number. He called me before I knew who he was. And he was like, and I was like looking him up while I was on the phone. I'm like, this dude got 1 million views on this video, and I've never heard of him. But that was in the era when independent artists weren't getting them high-level views.
Exactly.
I was impressed with him. Another favorite of mine, one of my favorite people I've ever met in this business, is Currency.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Heck yeah.
He's taught all of us so much. Anytime I come to New Orleans and touch down, he makes sure I'm good. Full Court Press is this record that you got with Currency's not in that group situation, right? But like, you got a record with Girl Talk and DZA, right?
Me, DZA,
K.R.I.T.
and K.R.I.T. Yeah, yep.
Currency's featured on that.
Yeah.
But clearly that Smokers Club energy, right? That's like all of y'all together.
That's Girl Talk's album.
Okay.
Girl Talk, that was his idea.
Okay.
You know, he's from Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah.
So, that was his idea. I think he had a couple songs laying around with K.R.I.T., and I think he had some with DZA, and of course he had some with me. So he was like, yo, I want to actually make a project. And that was something that we did before COVID, and then COVID kind of put a hold on it. So we had to wait and then finish it up and then release it later. But that was mainly Girl Talk's idea.
Okay. And Brochure for Heads called You and Currency. I thought this was interesting. In 2010, they called y'all, and this is their words, West Coast gangster version of Black Star.
Oh, that's fire. Hell yeah.
Now, how did y'all all collectively start bonding over the smoke?
So this is really like literally how it happened. Currency already had a group of friends. He was cool with like Wale and a couple other dudes. And me, I was just so young and hungry after the Warner Brothers deal. I hit him up on MySpace and was like, yo, I fuck with your music. I'm just trying to like record with you, smoke with you, whatever. He didn't hit me back, but all of the people who support me hit him up and was like, yo, why the fuck ain't you hit Wiz back? Like he's
Taylor Gang was heavy online.
Yo, they was like, yo,
on the blogs
like, Wiz is trying to get at you, bro, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, all right, fuck it, who's this Wiz kid?
Right.
And he ended up figuring out that he had a freestyle over one of my songs anyway. So, yep. So he hit me back and was like, yeah, fly down, come to New Orleans, blah, blah, blah. I put you in the hotel. I'm like, no, don't put me in no hotel. I was like, I'm gonna come to the crib and we'll use that money from the hotel on weed. And that's how we bonded over weed for the first time.
A real smoker.
Hell yeah. I was like, use that hotel money for weed, dog. I'll sleep on the fucking couch. I don't care. So, but yeah, we went down there. I think we recorded like 2 songs before I went, and then we got down there. We recorded like a half a song when I got down there. But we just watched movies and smoked weed and laughed and just became like the best of friends. And just through that, man, we traveled. We met Shipes. I don't know if he already knew DZA, but they introduced me to DZA. I met Nipsey through them. That's when we went up to do the double XL, the freshman cover.
Right.
So Big Sean was on that motherfucker. It was a lot of people that like are in the game now. You know, we were all coming up together. South by Southwest was still a thing. There was a lot of, different situations that were just putting us all in the same rooms where if we hit each other up, we was like, yo, you got some weed? All right, I got some weed. Come to my trailer, dog. Fuck these niggas. Like, we not, you know what I mean? Doing that shit. Exactly. Like, give them the bullshit and bring the good shit over here. We gonna do what we do. So that's how we all became buddies. And, like, luckily everybody's fucking rich now. So it's sweet.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool.
This album, you called this album Your Illmatic.
Yeah.
Kush and Orange Juice. The Kid Frankie is such a classic.
Thank you.
You was on some like, that album is just like, it feels so good. Like Up is like a mantra. Everything is better when you're high. It's like way to live. The Cortex sample on the Divisions. You know what? I gotta stop this. I've been promising myself I'm gonna stop giving away niggas samples.
They already know. There's
okay.
There's shit dedicated to like fucking it's all good, bro.
All right, cool. That Visions song, that sample is the same sample as MF Doom, One Beer.
Yep.
Do you have a relationship musically with Doom and Madlib?
Hell yeah. I listen to everything. I listen to your shit. Hella, bro. Reflection Eternal, that fucking The Train of Thought album. That shit is amazing, bro.
Thank
you and High Tech killed that shit. And it's stuff like that that's in the DNA of what I do, what Currency does. And, I feel like we do a good job by masking it with the weed. Like, people are like, oh, it's just pot rap. But, dude, we fucking listen to music, you know what I mean? And we really study that shit and the shit that we're saying and how we say it and just our idea of what's cool is not like what everybody else's idea is. So, you know, to be able to just mold songs around that and mold people's ideas and shit like that around it, and have people follow it and you know, want to be into that, just continuing what generations have done, but just doing it, you know, for a newer generation. That's what we were able to do. Spit is my OG, and then I was able to come into the game and inspire a lot of different people who, you know, went on to make different subgenres of what we created.
Yeah.
But it all comes from the same cloth, you know what I mean? Those same kids still listen to the same shit, and they still appreciate it, and they understand it as well because that DNA is there.
That's right. I think that's added to your longevity and the fact that how you're prolific is because of that. Like even with the number 16, that's a Ramsey Lewis sample. He just passed away recently. And that's one of my favorite songs by you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
It's a great one.
I try to do like all different types of shit, and when I come with my ideas, sometimes it's just like a raw idea, but I sit in a room full of people and I'm like, yo, let's do this, and we bring that shit to life. And I feel like Kush and Orange Juice was one of the most like alive projects that we did because nobody knew what the fuck we were doing. We were just like, yo, let's get these ideas out, and they fucking worked, you know what I mean? So it was cool. It was a really fun experiment, and it was good to, you know, put that out and people to accept it for what it is.
Yes, they got me through a major breakup.
Oh, wow.
Kush and Orange Juice did?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Breakup music?
Listen, whatever I can smoke to
All right.
and get my mind off, that was just what I was listening to during that time. It was a great time. Yeah. So I like to think of you as one of the kings of mixtapes because your mixtape run is like freaking crazy.
Thank you.
And as you just said, your fans have been shaped musically by your mixtape output. And so let's talk about how essential you view your mixtape work in relation to your albums.
I view the mixtape work as like you get them ready for all the things that the album is going to be about.
Right.
So you kind of teach them the slang, you teach them, you know, how to move, like what the tempo is going to be, and even if you plan on switching through tempos, what I like to do is I like to dedicate mixtapes towards different sounds. So right after I did, you know, Kush and Orange Juice, I did Cabin Fever. Because I'm like, you're not going to put me in a box of somebody who just makes laid back, smooth, jazzy type records. I love that shit. But I also like Lil Wayne and Young Jeezy and Cameron, and you know what I'm saying? So you're going to hear me, or Snoop, or, you know, DJ Quick. You're going to hear me, Mac Dre, you're going to hear me experiment with all that shit. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Master P, 3-6 Mafia. You're going to hear me experiment with all of that. So that's what I use my mixtapes to do, is to just really, really grind in the sounds that I'm feeling at the times. And then I just dive in with my albums more as a producer and work with different people to try to, you know, go out and achieve that sound. So it's more of a group effort on the album. Yeah. That was good.
Speaking of group efforts, it's almost like you and Snoop are in a perpetual group.
Totally.
For life at this point.
Totally.
What was the inspiration behind the Mac and Devin movie and the album? And
man, so God is good, bro. Like you can like literally have whatever you want in this world.
Amen.
I would ride around listening to Doggy Style. I don't care what year it was. It'd be 2000, whatever, but because I got on in 2009. So this is probably like, I got my license, I don't remember what year, but since I got my license, I always had Doggy Style in the whip, no matter which Snoop album came out. And I would listen to that shit, or I would watch him perform and be like, I'm going to be on stage with that nigga. I'm going to be right next to that nigga smoking weed with that nigga. Just
Manifest
because,
destiny.
Yeah, I'm so cool. Like, I deserve to be, like, we deserve to chill with each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have something to bring to the table. And just by work and building my fan base, his son became like a huge fan of mine. So he's in the room, his oldest son. So he's in the room smoking weed, listening to my shit. And Snoop's like, what the fuck is this? Like, this shit is actually hard. You know what I mean? He was going such a long period of time not really feeling what was going on in music.
Right.
So he finally heard my music and was like, this shit is hard. So he reached out himself. I was on tour at the time, and he was like, yo, I fuck with your music. My son put me on to you. Was like, yo, this is that nigga, blah, blah, blah.
Family business.
Yeah, real talk. So he's like, when you come to LA, link up with me. Don't call nobody else. I'm like, nigga, of course. Like, what the fuck else would I do?
Right.
So I got out here. We chopped it up. He did the Black and Yellow remix, and we shot the video for that. It was me, him, Juicy J, and T-Pain. And immediately after that, we went to the studio, we started recording, and he was like, yo, we're gonna do a movie, we're gonna do a soundtrack, we're gonna go on tour, we're gonna do merch. He was like, it's locked in, we gonna do it. Like, I fuck with you, you a good dude, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he kept his word, man. Like, I got an apartment right around the corner from his, and we started putting in the work, and everything just happened.
That's a beautiful
like, right
story,
then and
bro.
Yep.
That's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
Can you outsmoke Snoop?
I'm not gonna say I got out smoking because dog can hang. But he's been through a lot of different smoking situations to the point where he chooses whether he wants to hang or whether he doesn't. But he's not gonna let it happen, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it depends. Like, yeah, he's not gonna let me out smoking. Nah, dog can hang.
Now, you said he jumped on the Black and Yellow. Everybody knows Snoop loves his Black and Yellow. And that was like a thing with him. Just a lifestyle thing with him before that song, right? So when you did that song, admittedly, I saw this documentary put out with the Rolling Papers too. Where you talk about nobody was fucking with it. You had the A&Rs in the documentary. They wasn't fucking with it. The homies wasn't fucking with it. But you knew, it's that power of knowing, going against the odds. Everybody saying you crazy. But I feel like that song is magic because I personally feel like the Steelers won because of that song.
Yeah.
Have people said this to you before?
For sure, hell yeah. They thought they was like, yo, this shit is rigged.
Right, it's rigged.
They're like, they lined the song up and the season at the same time because they went fucking crazy. They went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
it was crazy, man. And then the song went #1 at the same time. So, like, that shit was, you can't even write a fucking book better than that.
Yeah, man.
That shit was tight.
Now, on Cabin Fever, you was bringing up Cabin Fever. You did a couple of those, but I feel like the Cabin Fever era is where you start to see the link up with Juicy J.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was just such a natural, organic, important for hip-hop link up, I think, on both sides.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So that was another idol of mine. I always listen to Juicy J, always just, 3 6 Mafia's music's been big in Pittsburgh in general.
I think the way that they've influenced just the game in terms of production and styles and everything is really, really, really criminally underrated.
Yeah,
the whole crew.
Project Pat, before there was like Gucci Mane and all that, he had shit on lock. Like, he would go to jail and then come home. But Pat is that nigga in Pittsburgh. He got a crib in Pittsburgh. He's like, them niggas, they're different out there. So I was always inspired by 3 6. So just coming into the game, I said this the other day when I was in Vegas because I had brought Too Short out. They always would give me like a option of who I wanted to work with, and I would always pick a legend, like somebody who inspired me. And Juicy at the time, we were on tour, and this was when Twitter was just starting. So I just hit that nigga up. I'm like, yo, anybody know Juicy J? Tell him to holla at me. And he hit me back up. And he was like, yo, I'm going to come see y'all with whatever city. He flew out. Nigga stayed on our tour bus. I think we made like 3 songs. And then that's another situation where as soon as I got to L.A., it was like, it went up.
Yeah, you linking up with the right people.
Yeah, yup.
Immediately.
Yeah.
The Stoner's Night album, that's more recently. That's like a perfect soundtrack to the best strip club you've ever been to.
It really is, yo. Juicy's a great producer. He's a great rapper. He's a great video director. He's a great DJ. He's a good dude, man.
He is.
I love that dude.
By Only Niggas in First Class, you're fully Californian, as evidenced by the song. Because I'm sorry, About Me, it's definitely making you want to go hyphy and stuff. Like, are you from Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
And you made that with Problem and I Am Sue. What are the differences between Cali Wiz and Pittsburgh Wiz?
Oh, man. So Pittsburgh Wiz, I would say, I'm still the young homie. I'm more or less, putting on for the gang. I'm in the cut. I'm, recording the videos. I'm getting the camera angles. I'm like saying, yo, you get on this hook, you get on that hook. Cali Wiz is like fully blossomed. He's like, all the experience is paid off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I might be partying a little bit harder at this point. You know what I'm saying? I might not be, thinking as much about, the process, just living it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fun. You could hear the party in the music.
For sure.
That's what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You and your friends and all that.
Yeah. And the radio out here is different too.
Right.
So it's like when you're pleasing different ears, or what different clubs and different DJs or different dancers want to hear, The tempo changes a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
I also like to ask you about See You Again with Charlie Puth from Furious 7, which is, it's an amazing song, beautiful. And what is it like being forever connected to the legacy of Paul Walker? Because that song literally can be dedicated to his life as well.
Yeah, totally. It was all about him. It's a tragic situation. Yeah. Like, to have to write a song about somebody's passing is kind of, you know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy, but I've dealt with, you know what I'm saying, a lot. And even at that time, a lot of people don't know that I have an older sibling, had an older sibling, my brother, but she was transgender though. And at this time, before, like right at the time when I was writing See You Again is when she got sick. And it was pretty serious, so I pretty much knew that I was going to be letting go. So I wrote that, you know what I mean, reflecting on his life, but still even tapping into my own feelings. And I think that it was able to touch everybody who was going through a loss or could be dealing with a situation. So that's what made it so special to me, because it wasn't directly about just, you know what I mean, this script of, this is his life. This is what he did. This is who he was. But it was, it's poetic. You know what I'm saying? It's something that everybody has a piece of. And
excuse me if I'm wrong, because I've been listening to a lot of your music, but did you just rap about your late sister in this last album, correct? Right?
Yeah, the poem
your mom
at the
stressing
beginning
that
of
your
Homies.
sister.
Yeah.
Homie's such a great song.
But on that part too, on Nobody Knows.
Yeah,
for sure.
That song is, man, it's just such an amazing song. I remember, I'm a huge, full disclosure, I go see all the Fast and Furious as soon as they come out.
One of them.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember going to see it, and I remember being like, oh shit, Wiz, like he's really doing it. Like he's really like, this is crazy. But I remember when that song was out, I would hear it on pop radio without your verses.
Right.
How did that happen?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I don't know. but
and for
I'm not tripping.
Yeah, right. You still get what
nah,
you get. But I even looked it up because I was like, was I tripping? I looked it up.
No, you weren't.
I looked it up, and I saw that there were versions, like pop stations, like white pop stations.
Yeah.
Would play it.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them.
And because when I was
for me, like the shit was so crazy because that song, it wasn't designed to be such a huge fucking hit, like a number one. It was just supposed to be a song for the soundtrack. It was supposed to be the last scene of the movie, but it just hit. You know what I'm saying? So if they played a version with my verse or not, I'm glad it hit. Like real talk.
I'd heard the version when I was doing research, and so, like I
Which
said,
version?
With
so
them
would
on
it just
there,
play the hook?
Okay, so I never heard you on there. I didn't know you were on the song. I had Alexa.
Did you even know you
I
was
promise. I had Alexa. I just said play songs from Wiz Khalifa, and that song came up. I was like, this isn't Wiz Khalifa, and I was like, oh, it is Wiz Khalifa.
Damn.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they was playing the version without you.
That must be the new version.
This was when that movie was out.
Oh, okay.
This was back
Talk to
then.
somebody, but
No, but I would hear like on the hip hop stations, like a Power 106, whatever. I would hear with you multiple verses, and I would hear that, and then I would hear on the pop station that same song just without your verses.
So what was it? Just a hook?
Just a hook a couple times. I gotta look this up.
Shout out to Charlie, man. Like Charlie is my dude. Like I feel like we share that because he wrote the hook and played the riff. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote my verses, so like that's togetherness.
Yeah.
So yeah, we both went on that one, and like, yeah, I never knew that, but it makes fucking sense though. Like, why not cut the weed smoker off of the song? Yeah, sure.
So, I used to be in Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I had to escape.
Yeah.
I had to get out.
It's trippy.
I was in Black Hollywood. Like my era was right before the Greystone era.
Oh, okay.
The Greystone era was crazy. I feel like that's your era.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all was going up. Y'all was like my era was turned up. We was
is
right.
Greystone still open?
It's Nightingales now.
It's Nightingales. Okay, I've been there.
I'll tell it off camera about the Greystone story.
We Them Boys was popping in that era.
Yep.
That's such an important song. Did you know how big that song was gonna be? And tell me about making that video, because I love that video.
Oh, man. I'm trying to figure out if I wanted to. You my homie, but I don't always tell these stories to everybody.
I understand.
Like, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
it's the people's party.
And you're not just speaking to us.
On Weed and Boys, dog. Do you know Detail?
No.
So Detail's a producer. He's from Michigan. He's a good guy. He's a great dude. He's very talented. He's written a lot of hits for a lot of people. He had this particular batch of songs that. So at this time, I'm still on Atlantic, and I'm still trusting, my thing. But I'm like, yo, it's time to make another hit. Like, let's get on the radio. So I'm like, I'll work with whoever. I'll do whatever. We'll write some hooks. We'll, go back and forth on some ideas, whatever. So Detail brings a pack of songs through, and it's like 6 songs. He plays me like 2 of them, and he plays the third one, and the third one's We Them Boys. And it's really just like him, like, mumbling and chanting, like, like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, this is a fucking hit. Like, I could hear it already. Like, I'm like, this is a fucking hit. And then he's like, yeah, but listen to this other one. I'm like, that's cool. And then he plays another one. He's like, and this is it right here. I'm like, no, that was it. Like, go back. So long story short, I had to pull the homie to the side. I was like, yo, we getting this fucking song. Like, it was just me and the homie. I was like, look, we gonna do whatever we gotta do. We gonna get this fucking song. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that good. Like, we need this one. This is that record. So I chopped it up. Yeah. So I chopped it up with Detail. Ended up getting the record. Ended up writing my verses and turning it into what it was. And then I went to Atlanta, and I had the idea for the video because I wanted to do. I watch a lot of movies, and just my eye for shit is just kind of crazy. And whatever idea that I get that I think is cool, I just do it. So I'm like telling people what it is. They're like, we can't do this in this amount of days. I'm like, we have to. I'm in Atlanta. This is the block that I want to do it on, blah, 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 this and the other thing. And if you check it out, Young Thug is in that video.
Yeah, Ty Dolla.
Ty's in the video. Rich Homie Quan's in the video.
Yep.
It's a lot of like younger dudes who at that time, you know what I'm saying, was still, K.R.I.T in that video. There's a couple comedians in that video. Yeah. Like people just on they come up. And so we shot it in one shot. We had everybody there.
One shot shit was crazy.
It's crazy, yo. It was cracking. I get a lot of love for not only that video, but just that song just being like an anthem. You know what I'm saying? And then, fucking shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. That ended up being their theme song. Right. So you go down to Dallas and they got We Them Boys signs in their yards and fucking We Them Boys shirts. But it's cool though, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes everything bigger and better.
You made an anthem.
It's timeless. It's a classic. It's there forever. I love
the intentionality behind it. Like,
I'd be knowing. I'd be like, I know, dog. Like, I fucking know, yo. Like,
but not only did you know, but just how you started the story, like, we gonna get on the radio. Yeah. And you just went and did that, but did it almost too big. Like, we went on the radio and then beyond.
Yeah. Man, the promo run, I was. Bro, the energy was crazy because it was just all about making people believe that record. And then even, overseas, man, like in the UK or fucking Brazil or whatever, when that shit drops, dog, it goes crazy. So, just to keep that energy flowing and, like you said, be intentional about it. Hell yeah.
Yes, indeed.
You know Brazilian jiu-jitsu. What the fuck?
Jew.
I know the word.
Jit.
It's just, I know the word. Okay.
Jiu-jit.
You're doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
There it is.
And Muay Thai. I did
ma'am.
a Muay Thai class, and I absolutely loved it, besides the fact that I broke my pinky nail. But where does your love for martial arts come from?
Shit. I just like practicing something every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. Like routine.
Yeah. But I love the martial arts. That's not to downplay, what goes into it. And it's a lot, man, but it's more than what's on the surface level, what people see like the body or learning how to fight. And it's really like breathing and just conquering a lot of shit and just setting goals and reaching them and watching yourself progress and learning from other people who are way, way better than you. So it was like that, when I first started doing music or when I first started editing my own videos and shit like that. It's just something that I can really obsess over and learn and get better at, as a lifelong thing.
That's what masters do.
I'm thinking about going to film school. Like just
idea.
taking like real courses and classes and having to do shit and just like really just to dive in. Like
You'd be good at it.
I wouldn't get. I would love that, dog.
I could see you now like Jim Morrison in the Doors movie.
Bro, I'm telling
Somebody
you,
in the back talking about, you need your art spoon-fed too.
I'm
No, I
telling
think you
you, dog,
should.
because it's good to be passionate at stuff and to really learn it.
Learning.
Learn the rules and then break the rules later.
Learn the rules and then break the rules later.
And you're involved. You have PFL, correct? Mm-hmm. Would you compare what you're doing with that to what Ice Cube was doing with his league? Since it's
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was just talking to one of the fighters. I was in Vegas. His name is Bubba Jenkins. Shout out to Bubba. He's going to win the championship. He's going to get that $1 million. We got our first pay-per-view coming up as well.
Wow.
And it's a league that's for the fighters and it's for the athletes and it's for the people who are competing, and it gives them a chance to, grow in the sport as opposed to just having to do one thing. And to present anybody with options these days, especially these athletes, they need to be represented a little bit better. So it's good to look out for the athletes and to also bring the entertainment side to it as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Now, I DJ sometimes. You DJ under the name DJ Daddy Cat.
Sure
right?
do.
Do you still do that? And when can I go to one of these parties?
Well, I practice all the time, so
Okay.
I'm always staying sharp.
Okay.
I haven't done a party. When's the last time? I haven't done a party in years, bro. But I think I'm gonna pop back out, honestly, because I don't like the temperature of things. Like I don't like the climate of like how parties are being perceived. So like we need to change that.
I do a monthly party. I'm actually going to fly out tonight to go to Austin. I do a monthly party every last Tuesday in Austin. But it's a fun party because the main clientele, the main people who show up as dancers.
Yeah.
So it's like when you could play for people who just come for no pretense, they don't care about the ropes.
They just want a boogie.
They just want a boogie.
Yeah.
They wearing specific clothes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So they can dance.
That's good, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a fun
bring that fun back. I would love to go to one of your parties, bro.
Oh, we should make it happen.
Yeah, I'm a good guy to invite to a party.
Okay.
I can tell because he's so cool, right?
Yes. Now we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to talk about this. But I wanted to see if you wanted to give us some context of what happened with that DJ argument. In that
We can
club.
talk about it,
Okay.
but it's gonna be short.
Okay. Yes.
It was a disagreement. I apologize. That's that.
Well, he's a cool guy. He said he's a cool guy to bring to a party.
Yeah.
I think you're cool. I think we have a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
I know, but you linked those. That was good.
And I want to talk about your work with Mr. Cap.
Yeah.
And you're early into the mushroom business. I am a strong believer of microdosing. Helps with anxiety. It makes you productive. All those good things. And on Bootleg Kev, you actually compared mushrooms to a roller coaster. I have to. Can you speak to your experience with mushrooms?
So I don't want to freak anybody out, but I've done shrooms like a shit ton, and then I've microdosed as well.
Yeah.
I've done mushrooms like at a concert with my mom. It's pretty cool, and that was more of the roller coaster that I felt, where it happens in waves. You know what I mean? You'll be good. You'll be like, oh yeah, everything is everything. I'm loving this, and then it's like, oh, here we go.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Here we go. So, those are good feelings, but it's like, you conquer those, you get over those. But that's why microdosing is good, because you really don't feel all of that when you microdose. You really just get kind of happy and you just absorb everything that's going on around you. And it gives you the opportunity to take a little bit more if you need to, or you can just back off and chill where you're at. Me, I like to take like less than 3 grams, like in a day.
See, with microdosing, number one, it's a lot of things. Because number one, you might take a microdose and then you forget about it, and then you're spilling your heart out. And you're like, oh shit, how did I
forgot
get
I'm on
here?
shrooms,
Like, where's
yeah.
my mushy?
Yep.
And then also with the microdose, and you can take one and be like, oh, I don't feel anything. And you take another one, and now all of a sudden you're on a trip.
And
And,
then it
you
kicks
didn't
in.
even pack your bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some very negative experiences with mushrooms early. But it wasn't the mushrooms, it was me just buying the wrong shit. And I stopped doing them for a while, and then when the pandemic hit, I was on them shrooms.
Mushroom
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
back
yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
But then I had a real negative experience.
Okay.
Like real bad. I've talked about it on the show. I'm not gonna get into it again. But I tried a week later just to prove to myself that I could conquer this. I did it again. I had a real good experience. But I haven't done them since then.
So a bad experience, is that like you like Like
Seeing
tripping
roaches
out?
on the street. That's
Or
a bad
like, is that like
experience.
freaking out on the phone? Like,
It was me being like, I'm in the wrong apartment with the wrong people,
oh, that'll happen.
and I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, it was bad.
That'll happen.
You know what's
But
cool?
you know that's probably true though, right?
It was true.
You
It
probably
was my
should be
fault
get
for
away
being
from
with the
them.
people.
Yeah,
Right.
It was,
It was- that's what I'm saying. It
It's
wasn't.
probably true. You wasn't bugging.
It was, yeah. That's exactly
really
what it
cool?
was.
Actual shrooms taste like shit.
Yeah, they do, and they make you shit too. So.
They do.
My partner was just fucking crushing mushrooms on tour. I was like, bro, you are a gangster. 'Cause I can't do it. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm on my blah, blah, blah. Went to the bathroom, came out sweating. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah exactly.
Yeah.
You might want to grind that up.
I saw your. I think he did grind that up. I seen you on Bootleg Kev. I didn't realize Bootleg Kev did so much mushrooms. He was like, yo, I was on high on mushrooms at Rolling Loud. I was high on mushrooms. I was listening to your album.
Shroomed out
And then
of
you
his mind.
said, I'm sick of all my fucking friends being high on mushrooms all the time.
Yo.
And I felt that because everybody around me is high on mushrooms all the time. There's
Spaced
everybody
out.
here. All of them. Look at
I'm
this.
not.
They all on mushrooms. But look,
They did
Now
shrooms.
I'm working.
They did
I would-
shrooms for
right
this
now.
shit.
I would never do a mushroom
They
before
did
this
shrooms
show.
for this? That's
They do.
awesome. Cuz was like, hey, I got some gummies for you, right?
That's the guy right
Was
there.
Cuz Framucci?
That's the guy right
Was
there.
Cuz Framucci?
I'm
Yo.
gonna keep it a buck
I
with
knew
you.
it
I was
Framucci.
tweaking off the gummies too, bro. I ain't gonna
Look,
lie.
I'm gonna keep it a
those
buck with
gummies
you.
are lit, though.
We have a script here that we write together.
Yeah.
He had 3 mushroom questions in here. I said, Steve, we're gonna ask 1 mushroom question.
All right, Steve.
I knew who was giving out the gummies, and I'll take some. Thank you.
Nah, they fire. I ain't gonna lie. They fire, but you know, I feel like Steve might know what he's doing.
Oh, he knows.
A lot of motherfuckers don't know what's in these fucking gummies. They don't know what kind of mushrooms they get. And they don't know, like, you know, and it's cool to experiment and have fun and shit like that. I'm down with the culture. I'm down with all the parties and,
Yeah.
you know, all the girls not wanting to drink alcohol and wanting to
yeah.
do shrooms.
It's
Now,
healthier.
it's healthier and they make better decisions that way, too. I'm totally with that, you know.
I like
fucking-
hearing you talk about currency and I'm going from swishers, because you used to be the big swisher dude, from swishers to papers. And the way, I don't know if it was you broke it down or currency, but he was like, look how many papers you get in a
Yeah,
paper versus a blunt.
yeah.
That's because you need so many to roll them right.
When he said,
It's not true.
these don't have the Surgeon General warning on them, that hit me like, oh shit.
That
You
is
don't
true.
have to read what's going to happen to you.
But I'm sorry. I watched the YouTube. It didn't help me. My paper game sucks.
But
Oh,
you
how
can
to roll?
But you can
Yeah.
roll a blunt.
I can roll a blunt real easy, but papers, no. It's always loose, or it's
She trying to
like
say that
I light
Redman
it
How
up
to Roll
and
a
then
Blunt
it's
is
a
better
roach
than
right
your rolling
away.
paper song.
You said what, Talib?
Remember Redman had How to Roll a Blunt?
Yeah.
No, you
he
had a
had-
YouTube about rolling paper, showing how to roll papers,
My
a tutorial.
how to roll up a joint is legendary. I was in the
Yeah.
hot tub listening
Yeah, in
to
the hot
Marvin
tub.
Gaye
Yeah.
teaching you how to roll a
And
joint.
it didn't work. It didn't work for me.
Yo, by the way, Roll Up is one of my favorite.
Were you in a hot tub?
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Listen, I wasn't listening to Marvin Gaye either, so thank you. I'll do that next time.
No, Roll Up is that song stands the test of time. I really
For
like
sure.
that song.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate it.
I feel like that's the first. No, I don't know if that's the first song first. That's an early song for you, right?
That was on Rolling Papers. That was after Black and Yellow. That was the second single. Well, I had Black and Yellow and I had On My Level with Too Short, and then Roll Up was the second
I think so.
single.
I think for me, Roll Up hit me in the heart special because it was just more light and more musical. And then like Black and Yellow, that shit was raging.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
raging with that shit. I was
yeah.
like, okay, this guy's out of here. And then you came back like, I roll up.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yes.
That's always a goal of mine
Yeah.
is to like just incorporate different genres.
Yeah.
I love pop music. I love rock and roll.
You're not scared of the pop music.
Yo, I love pop music, man. And to
Your
be
first
able
big record was a pop hit.
exactly say yeah. Yep. So I like to incorporate both because that's a part of who I am. And you know, you'll hear me make really dope underground records, and then you'll hear me make these really, really crossover, you know what I mean, records as well. And I wanted to establish that right away, so nobody
Right.
was like, "Oh, where's change?" Well, I was like, "No,
Right.
nigga,
Right away.
This is what I've been doing. Like, this is a
Right.
part of my catalog, fool. Like, this
What's
is
the name of the record with Girl Talk right now? Ready or Not?
Ready for Love.
Ready for Love.
Yeah, where I'm
You
singing
having
on
fun.
the whole thing. Yeah, yep.
Boogieing
yeah,
fun with
yeah,
it.
yep. I love doing shit like that.
Now, you had a very, 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 very extra busy pandemic. How many albums have you dropped? First of all, if we count all the albums and the mixtapes, how many is that?
I have no idea.
We was trying to
It's
figure it
over
out.
30.
I have no idea. I think
32?
I'm about to drop my 5th project this year.
This year alone?
On Friday, yeah.
Listen, 32 projects. I listened to about 25 of them in their entirety.
Thank you.
To do this interview.
lot.
That's good though.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But they're all very good. And the recent output, the saga Wiz Khalifa,
Yeah, Saga was tight.
Wiz Got Wings,
Wiz Got Wings is
full
fire.
court press. You're putting the team on.
Yep.
It's always been important to you
Yep.
to put the team on.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I always like to put on my producers as well. Cardo and Sledrin. And, you know, now I got Quad. I got, you know, Lido, Rye Baby. You know, there's a TM, you know, he's a Taylor Gang producer, but he's also somebody who's really influential to the sound. You know, freaking, what's my boy DJ Fresh from the Bay? There's a lot of different people. Even when I was working with Sue and them, P-Lo and all of them, like, I still get beats from all of those dudes because, like, Ricky P, that's my partner. That's one of the homies from the home team. E-Dan, Big Jern. Yeah, home team.
Yes, indeed.
Hell yeah.
Now, you said you dropping something new for Friday?
Yeah, I'm about to drop something new on Friday.
What's that?
A song or an album?
An album.
Whoa.
Yeah, yup. It's called G-Rage. It's a project that I put together with my partner Quad. And it's more like diving into like the young nigga sound. But it's kind of, I wanted to, the inspiration behind the name G-Rage because, so it was G-Rave, like, and then it just looked too much like grave and I didn't want to, I didn't want to do that.
Word, sound, power.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then like Raven was like the old version of what they say is like raging now.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So G-Rage just sounded better. But the G is like G-Funk. You know what I mean? Like I'm the old head
You the
putting
G.
like
You
you know
the
what I mean?
OG in.
Putting a little G in.
G-Rage.
Exactly. So this is the G-Rage.
Are we really old heads though? I don't know if I'm
Bruh, when you 35 in this game, you an old head. But I embrace it though. I'm an OG. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm still a nigga who can, you know what I mean, dress the way that I dress, do what I do. It's not awkward. Like it's not it's not funny.
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I'm
You can go
saying?
either way.
Like,
Right.
We good.
Well, you do show on this new album, Multiverse. This is such an amazing
Yes.
project.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this project.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's definitely a change.
Yeah, yep.
It's less about women and weed.
Yeah.
It has more live music, like a lot more live music. Production is super dope. You connected with Girl Talk Again and Hitmakers on this, right?
Yep,
Working on
yep.
it. Funkin' is dope.
Thank you.
Something Real is fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
Mirror Love, Lost. These are songs about self-care. These are songs about like understanding the consequences of fast living. On Lost, like you just said, like on Lost, you go from back in the days, you was like, I'm that rapping ass nigga, and on Lost, you're like, I'm no rapper. You know, that's a huge.
Yep.
That's quite a journey.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, what made you want to make this album about that journey?
So I always made, it still do, but I always make music that's, you know, right there where I'm at in my life. And when I made the music before, that's exactly what I was doing at that time. And even though that's what a lot of people connect with, and this dude was like, he walked up to me and was like, man, when you said, instead of worrying about who that bitch fucking, why don't you get you some money? He was like, that changed my life. I'm like, good look, bro. Like, I love the fact that that's what changed his life and that stood out and that meant a lot to him because that's what I was going through at that time. But it wouldn't be, you know, right for me as an artist, or it wouldn't really reflect me as a person to not talk about how I really feel right now and, you know, make it poetic, make it make sense, and make that shit cool. And if you into it, you're gonna be into it. It's probably gonna speak to a lot of people who are going through the same thing. And if you want to hear, you know, the old version of what I was going through in my life back then, it's documented. So, you know,
well
what I mean?
documented.
Hell yeah. So that's what made me, you know, really confident in moving forward and just getting people ready for, you know, what the subject matter appropriate to my life right now is. It's still fun, it's still lighthearted, but it's gonna be real. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm not gonna dig back in the closet to get some shit from old season. Like, we rocking the new shit.
I mean, case in point, you got a song called "We Don't Go to Nightclubs Anymore." I'm working on this new album with Madlib, and I got a whole verse about why I don't go to nightclubs and what used to happen at the nightclubs. Candlelight Girl. It's just like, man, this is so musical. It's so dope.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun because it was something that I really believe in, and that's how I did Kush and Orange Juice. Like I just blocked out everything. And I had my own method of how I created the music. Like you hear some of the songs, the structure of them, they're not even like normal songs.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So
it's not hook verse hook. It's just what you were feeling at the time.
Exactly. Yep.
So I really love the saxophone in the beginning of.
Shout out to Saxo Rose.
Oh, was that 1,000 Women?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
that's such a great
record.
record.
That was the first one I went back and listened to, just for the opening. Do you play instruments?
No, I don't. Oh, okay. I can hear them very well though.
Gotcha.
Executive producer.
Thank Him is a gospel record, and one of the first times you're dealing with spirituality.
Yeah.
What made you dive into it at this stage in your career?
I love God.
Amen.
I thank God every day. I pray every day.
Yes.
And I never made a song for God. I was like, bro, you tripping.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Well, you have, shown us how someone could be a rap superstar and be down to earth and still take care of the family.
Yeah.
And take care of the gang.
Yep.
And we appreciate you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
That your story, I can't say it enough, is so inspirational to me. What's next for you? Are you staying busy, or are you going to take some time off right now?
I'm staying busy. I'm releasing more music. Yeah, I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. I'll be independent really, really soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
Okay.
So gearing up for, my next moves for my legacy of shit that I'm going to own, which is really, really fun to think about. So that means a lot of new music, a lot of new content, more acting and animated stuff. I've been getting some adult animated series thrown my way. So you'll definitely hear my voice, like, on some Netflix shows and shit like that. And eventually we'll be writing our own things. And just different companies and shit like that. I like to do my companies behind the scenes because I don't like to be like, yo, I'm Wiz Khalifa, I'm the face of it. I'm actually catching flights and going and meeting with executives and sitting down and telling them why we should fuck with it and why you should have it in your store or why we should be on your network and things like that.
Yeah, speaking of that, people don't know that you're involved with Liquid Death.
Right.
Which is, if you're in the concert industry, is ubiquitous, is everywhere. And then people, if they fans, they know about the gin, because you've been rapping about it for a minute. But you also have Pack Bowls, right?
Pack Bowls, Khalifa Kush.
And what's the name of the company? Next Bite? They're next door. They actually had kicked us out for smoking too much weed.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was ironic.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Next Bite.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They want the weed in the food.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
But you can't smoke. All right, cool.
I mean, it is a corporate office. It's like
whatever. It's legal.
They're gone now. They moved someplace else.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they had to move.
Did we have Liquid Death in Austin?
Liquid Death, we got to deal with.
No, that wasn't the water we had in Austin.
We got to deal with Live Nation. So wherever there's a Live Nation,
That's what it is. I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, the People's Party is proud and honored to have such a wonderful guest. Wiz Khalifa is in the house. Give it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And before I did, my son would be pissed if I didn't tell y'all. He said, "What's up?" So
shout out to Bash.
Yeah, Sebastian said, "What's up, y'all?"
Yes, indeed. We are a fan of his.
Yeah. And my bad, I didn't make it at 3 when I was supposed to, but I literally have to pick him up from the bus stop.
I love that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
I do that shit. I don't let nobody else do it.
Amen
I don't
to
put that on nobody. I drop him off, pick him up. It's
Right.
my guy.
You work hard so you can play hard.
Hell yeah.